CD Projekt Red is reportedly considering licensing out its Cyberpunk and Witcher IP to mobile developers, which is interesting. As part of a Q&A following an earnings conference for the publisher's financial year 2023, one caller asked, have you considered licensing either of your big IPs to third parties to make mobile games? They then asked how this would work from a business standpoint, whether it would be a one-off licensing fee or a profit-sharing agreement. Joint CEO Michael Nowakowski replied that the publisher was indeed looking at the possibility, but that nothing had been set in stone yet. The answer is pretty simple here, he replied. The answer is yes, we are considering such a move. In fact, we were pursuing, through conversations, opportunities like that. We have nothing to announce just yet, but when the time comes, we would. As for one-off or other business models related to any such potential partnership, we would not comment on the specifics here, but to be honest, plus there is nothing in place that we're talking about. There's no pre-designed business model we're looking at in this case, whether one-off or shared profits. That's another story, but when the time comes, we'll definitely share information. Yeah, and the previous mobile spin-off, Monster Slayer, was shut down after 2 years. This was like the Pokemon Go variant and kind of knockoff that they had. It was nothing special. These games, you just have to have a community built around it, and I just don't think it was ever that big, which is unfortunate. It's too bad. The Witcher card game spin-off Gwent were also released in, years and years ago as standalone single-player expansions called Thronebreaker was also released. Reception of Gwent was generally positive, though official support for the game ended on October 23rd of 2023. So they've tried mobile stuff before with their IP, and it's just never really materialized into anything significant or long-lasting, so they've just decided to can it. But they seem to be interested in finding a different way to do it. Whether they partner with a company like Tencent and have them develop something, or NetEase have them develop a mobile game or something, that's probably where it ends up going. What that looks like, I don't know, like a mobile Monster Hunter Witcher kind of game, I don't know. But I would fully expect in the next few years we get an announcement of something like this. It just makes too much sense. Like, they're big IP, people love them, people recognize them. Pretty easy. Yeah, Witcher Mobile, $5.99 for a Henry Cavill skin. Exactly. Raid Witcher Legends. I love that. So I fully expect them to do something like this, but we'll see. Keep an eye on it. Does it mean that like it's going to affect anything else? I don't think so. The good thing about this is that it doesn't affect the development of other projects and stuff. So if they're working on The Witcher 4, it doesn't really cause any issues if they outsource this, you know. Hopefully it's not a gacha game. I agree. If it's a gacha game, I'll be upset about that because I just think those are unethical. But if it's like just Gwent rehashed, or if it's like an actual mobile game that's a video game itself, kind of like Assassin's Creed Jade, but it's The Witcher, then I'm better with that. But yeah, I agree. If it's a gacha game, that can go F itself. And I see you guys talking about this. Let's touch on this. 2/3 of CD Projekt Red are working on The Witcher 4, reaching its target staff size. Production is set to start in the second half of the year. Pretty exciting. As revealed during an earnings call, they said that they now have 403 people working on the game. Joint CEO Michael Nowakowski explained that following the release of Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, the number of staff working on that game has now dropped to just 17, with others being distributed to other projects. The Polaris team, on the other hand, has grown to 400 developers, reaching its target size for entering the production phase. This is scheduled for the second half of the year. The team is now working on the Witcher spin-off Projekt Sirius, led by the Molasses Flood. The team working on the Witcher spin-off Projekt Sirius, led by the Molasses Flood. I can't read today. Jesus, hasn't changed in size since CD Projekt Red's last update and remains at just under 40 staff. Back in January, CD Projekt joint CEO Adam Badowski said he hoped the production phase of the fourth main Witcher game, Polaris, would start this year. This was kind of the graph and chart that they showed. So they have, as of February 29th, 2024, they have 627 developers. And you see Cyberpunk 2077, only 17 people working to maintain that, work on bug fixes if they pop up, support on that just in general. Polaris has spiked to 403 devs. Orion, Sirius, Hadar, and shared services all split among the rest. But you can see the overwhelming majority of their devs are now working on The Witcher 4, which is pretty exciting. They confirmed last May that it had wrapped up its research phase on the game, which will be the first part of a new trilogy, and progressed to the pre-production phase. It said last November that almost 330 devs were working on the project, making it CD Projekt Red's biggest development team. We'd like to have around 400 people working on the project by the middle of the year, Badowski said at the time, a target which has now been met. So they're on pace doing what they wanted to do. I'm sure there's also, a series of other things they have to go through where they're switching over engines. They're going into Unreal. So their whole team is familiar, of course, with their tool set, but switching over to Unreal is kind of a big undertaking. But they have resources. They have Epic Games behind them. And that's the thing, that CD Projekt Red has been good at so far, is that they know how to leverage these relationships with big corporate partners and technology partners in a way that's very useful for the end product. So, for example, they partnered up with NVIDIA for tons of the Cyberpunk 2077 updates, where it was all framed initially around this is the big, whatever they called it, overdrive or Psycho ray tracing update, and it's going to make all of that super viable. And then they have path reconstruction as basically a separate update. And they have all of these cool things to showcase NVIDIA bells and whistles and technology that they have. And they partnered with them on that all along the way. And with this, it seems like they're going to be doing something similar, where probably we're going to start to see The Witcher 4 referenced and shown off at the big Epic Games reveals of the next Unreal Engine updates. When we see the update for Unreal Engine 5.5, we'll probably see some little tidbit from CD Projekt Red, or probably not 5.5, probably 5.6 or 5.7. But I would fully expect that as part of the agreement of using Unreal Engine and having Epic engineers behind them, they've probably also agreed to have some marketing give and take with it, which I think is good. I mean, it's good for The Witcher 4 if it's framed as one of the most graphically and technologically impressive games of all time. And it's good for Epic because it makes their engine look all the more powerful and capable that this amazing looking game and amazing team is using their tool set. That says a lot about it. They're probably going to milk UE5 to the max. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, I mean, I think it says a lot that they had industry leading tech with Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, and they chose to drop it for sake of Unreal Engine 5. That should tell you how great they think Unreal Engine 5 is and the potential that they see with it. As somebody mentioned on stream the other day, that should also tell you how far behind something like the Creation Engine is. If you feel like the Creation Engine is significantly behind the Red Engine that they used for Cyberpunk, just remember that CD Projekt Red considered their engine behind what Unreal was capable of doing. So if everybody agrees the Creation Engine is behind the Red Engine, and the guys that made the Red Engine are like, oh yeah, we're way behind this other engine, how far behind is the Creation Engine behind Unreal? It's not even close. Not even close, I mean, they will probably have full support from both Epic and NVIDIA. It could be insane. Yeah, I fully expect it to be absolutely outrageous.
He took my thing.